back to my channel. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to get notified when I post new videos. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing my riding story and kind of giving you guys a background on when I started riding and how I got into the sport, and just kind of my whole journey throughout the years that I spent riding almost every day. If you're new to my channel, I don't have horses right now. I used to have horses in the past, which I will talk about in a little bit. But my goal as of right now is to have horses within the next couple of years again. And obviously horses are expensive, and it's something that I want to make sure I can afford before I put myself in that situation to be a horse owner again. So when I was around 9 or 10 years old, I was obsessed with horses, and the obsession kind of came out of nowhere. I didn't have any friends that rode. It was just something that really fascinated me. I loved horses, I loved being around animals, and it just seemed like something I would enjoy. I never did any traditional sports growing up. Like I never played soccer or swim or lacrosse or anything like that. I literally rode horses throughout my entire middle school and high school career. I begged my mom to let me take a horse camp one summer, and I'm not even kidding, I begged her so many times. And I probably got super annoying because I would literally just beg her over and over again. So we found a camp that was around like 15 to 20 minutes away, and it was for 5 days. It was for beginners, so my mom signed me up. And I remember at the time, my best friend wanted me to take cheer camp with her because I think we were like going into middle school. I remember my mom telling me, you can either take the cheer camp or you can take the horse camp, but you can't do both. And I was like, okay, I could either spend time with my friend and do cheerleading, or I can maybe try riding horses and see if I like that. And I already knew I wanted to take the horse camp. Cheerleading wasn't really something I was interested in, and the only reason I had considered it was because my best friend was telling me to do it. So I ended up going with the horse camp, and I'm so glad I did because I was hooked. Like the second I got to that camp, I was so happy to be around horses, and the camp taught us all about how to groom, tack up, how to trot, like just basic things, and it was so much fun. After that camp ended, I knew I wanted to keep riding and I wanted to take lessons. But unfortunately, the place that this horse camp was held at was so expensive, and so my mom was like, no, you're not gonna take lessons here, but maybe we can find a cheaper alternative. On Christmas morning that year, I woke up and there was a card for me. I wish I still had the card, I don't know where it is, but there was a picture of a girl and a horse on it. And inside the card, my mom had written basically saying that I was gonna start taking lessons at a barn that was about like 30 minutes away from us. I started crying, and it was very embarrassing, but I was just so excited that I had the opportunity to start riding. And I actually have the gift certificate that my mom gave to me. I'm gonna cover my trainer's information, but I got this gift certificate in the card, and I freaked out and I started crying, and it was like the best Christmas ever because I was just so excited. I started taking lessons and I rode at this barn for a couple years, and then the barn actually ended up shutting down, which was really, really sad because I loved this place. While I was at this barn, I did a couple small shows. I was still like very young. I was probably like 11 or 12 when I was doing these shows, and they were nothing crazy. They were literally just like small classes I would do at local fairgrounds and stuff like that. To be honest, I never really enjoyed the whole showing mentality. It just wasn't my environment. I didn't like the pressure of it, and I didn't like feeling like I had to prove myself to somebody, and I don't know, it just wasn't my scene. But I did have a good time, and I'm glad that I had that experience. After that barn closed down, I started riding at a bigger barn that was a little bit closer to my house. At the new barn, I ended up getting my first horse. Her name was Willow. She was an off-the-track thoroughbred, and I think she was about 12 years old when I got her, but we ended up putting her into training because she had zero training when we bought her. My new trainer that I started riding with at the new barn started training Willow, and after about a year, she came to us and told us that Willow's training wasn't improving and that she wasn't grasping onto anything that she was trying to teach Willow. We ended up having to give Willow back to her original owner, which was really hard and very, very sad. And it was honestly so heartbreaking because I was so attached to this horse, even though I couldn't ride her. I continued taking lessons with my new trainer, and then when I got to high school, I ended up moving up north. It was really hard to find like a trainer that I liked in my new area because it was a smaller town. For the first couple of months that I was living up north, I didn't ride, I didn't do anything horse related, and it was really hard because I missed that part of my life. I really missed going to lessons and just riding in general, being around horses, and I didn't have any of that in the beginning. A couple months into me living in this new area, my mom and my former stepdad ended up agreeing to buy a couple horses. We ended up getting 3 horses, which was a lot of work. Basically, my stepdad wanted to get the horses because he wanted to start like a trail riding business, but that didn't work out. And so we just ended up keeping the horses for like my mom and I, which by the way, I should add, my mom also used to ride when she was a kid. So when I started riding again, she wanted to start riding. And so when we got these horses, my mom was able to start horseback riding again. So it was really exciting for both of us. And we were both just so happy that we had these horses, and it was like something that my mom and I could bond over and spend time riding with each other. So we had 3 horses, Kensington, Spirit, and Doppler. Kenny was like my horse, and then Spirit was more of my mom's horse, and then Doppler was kind of just a horse that we both rode and exercised, and we both kind of just shared him. And we ended up actually having to sell Doppler. I don't even remember how long we had him for. It wasn't a very long time, but he had some navicular issues and it was very expensive to upkeep. So we ended up having to sell him, but he went to a great home and it was just like the perfect match with his new owner. So we kept Kenny and Spirit, and I had those horses all throughout high school. And then my senior year, I was considering selling Kenny because I knew I was going to be going to college and I wouldn't have time for him, and I knew that he deserved better. I think in like February of 2018, I ended up selling Kenny, and it was so heartbreaking because that horse went through so much, and he was seriously like, I can't even explain how much that horse impacted me. And Kenny was like my savior throughout high school. Like if I had any problems going on in my life, I would go to the barn and I would spend time with Kenny, and it just always made me feel better. So selling him was really hard, and it's something I'm still like dealing with to this day. I miss him every single day, but I knew I did the right thing. He's at a great facility in LA now as a lesson horse, so everything worked out. Once I sold Kenny and my mom sold Spirit, I stopped riding, and I haven't ridden really since high school. And it's been a couple years since I've graduated, and it's been really hard because I think in the beginning, when I first sold Kenny, I had all this free time and I would just hang out with my friends. And you know, when you're a senior, there's a lot going on and there's a lot of events to go to, and then there's graduation, so you're pretty occupied. But I feel like after graduation, I was really sad that I didn't have Kenny anymore and that I couldn't just go ride. I had also been kind of going through a little bit of a funk with riding my senior year. I just wasn't as motivated to ride anymore, and that was really hard to go through because I knew in my heart that I loved riding and that it was something I wanted to do for the rest of my life. But I was just going through this moment where there was a lot in my, you know, social life going on. I had a lot going on at school, and riding was kind of just on the back burner for me. I'm so grateful that I had all of the experiences with my horses that I did, and that I got into horseback riding at a young age. And I know I need to be patient, and I just need to wait for the right timing to get horses again and to get back into riding. I know it'll happen one day. So thank you to everyone who watches my videos. It seriously means the world to me because having your guys' support and being able to connect with other people who love horses has been so great. And I know that one day I will be able to make the videos that I used to make and that I loved making at the barn. So if you want to watch those videos, I used to make like barn vlogs when I had my horses in high school, and they're at like the very beginning of my channel. So if you want to go watch those, you can. They're kind of embarrassing, but I loved making them, and I want to make those type of videos again in the future when I have horses. Thank you to everyone who has been on this journey with me, and I'm so excited to see what the future holds. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and make sure you're subscribed to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next video.